Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for some more Star Wars Battlefront 2 news, and we have quite a bit of news to dive into today, so I am not going to waste any of your time. Let's just get straight into it. First things first, and this is just another week in the life of a DICE developer, as this newest update has added probably the single most game-breaking glitch in Battlefront 2 history, this time to Anakin, and if you are a Battlefront 2 veteran, you probably can look back not so fondly and remember the explosive shot glitch, the Palpatine murders you through walls BS, and of course the Battle Point exploit from a few months back, but this is either as bad or worse than those, which were already bad enough, and the only reason it isn't an absolute epidemic yet is because A, you actually have to have the skill to get a hero before anyone else does, and B, it's not something you can really do very well in most heroes versus villain matches, and as such, it's something that I've mostly had to deal with in Galactic Assault. This exploit allows Anakin to instantly recharge his retribution, and pretty much just have it available to him at all times, and seeing his retribution is the single most powerful ability in the game without a shadow of a doubt, and there's really no arguing that in any way, that is a massive problem. Now, I am of course not going to be telling any of you how to do this, as that would be terribly irresponsible, and also this is not that kind of channel, and you most certainly will not be seeing me using this if you run into me online, but luckily DICE has already said they are well aware of the problem and are working to fix it. Most of the forums have been asking for the devs to completely kill switch Anakin like they did with Palpatine like a year ago, which ended up being a great thing because Palpatine was ruining the game. I don't know if we're quite that far with Anakin, but regardless, the devs did say that would absolutely be a last resort, as they are already working to fix the problem right now. And I will say this is something that cannot stick around for a full month until the next update. DICE absolutely needs to put out a hotfix for this, as it's only going to get worse. In terms of how broken the glitch is, this is absolutely the worst one we've had in terms of how powerful it is, but luckily it's not nearly as accessible as something like the explosive shot bug was last year, so it isn't something you'll really run into every game, but when you do, you will want to throw your controller through the nearest window. Alright, let's move on to some more positive news, and in response to a comment asking when we would get additional Episode 4 skins after the announcement of Leia's, Jay did say that Han and Luke's A New Hope appearances are both on the developer's list of skins that they intend to get around to making. Now, of course, that does not completely confirm them, but it definitely leads us to believe that that's something we'll probably be seeing down the line, and it also raises the question as to which Luke skin he's talking about. I would imagine he means Farm Boy Luke as opposed to his ceremonial jacket. Han will just be the outfit he wears throughout the whole movie, which to be honest, I genuinely wouldn't be too excited about, but man, I would absolutely love Farm Boy Luke or his ceremonial jacket, or even better, both. If I had to guess, I would say it's just going to be his farm boy outfit, as that's his outfit for like 93% of the first movie, but with how many people have been asking for his yellow jacket, I would definitely say that is within reason. Another small update, if you remember back a few months ago when Ben was over on Twitter just replying to another developer and saying that he couldn't wait to show us two different things that he did not go into detail on at that time, well, Ben did give a bit of extra detail saying that one of those things were the ARC Troopers, which of course we already have in the game, but they still have yet to reveal what the other one is, and I know the first thing most people will think of and hope for are droidicas, but from what the devs have said, I have a feeling that's not going to be it, and we're probably never going to get droidicas, unfortunately. That's probably going to be something we're going to have to hold out for like Battlefront 3 for. As much as I love droidicas, I really would love to see some new content for the original trilogy, and I do think that's what we're going to get. I think new reinforcements for the original trilogy maps are coming down the line, and personally, I would love to see the Emperor's Royal Guards make a return, and some sort of reinforcement for the Rebels, as we still only have Wookiees, which still feels so out of place on some of those maps. I'm not sure what they would do for the Rebel reinforcements, but if you have any suggestions, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, we'll just have to wait and see, but man, with how much has been hinted at, I'm just wondering when we'll actually get a full updated roadmap, and despite me not thinking it's gonna happen, I would still love to see droidicas. DICE, please. In somewhat less exciting news, a change was made to Capital Supremacy this morning, so if you are frustrated with having to play the same map back to back, DICE did change that around this morning, so you'll always be playing different maps, and never the same twice in a row. Personally, I don't think I've ever sat through two games back to back, as they last about 6 years each, but for those of you who have infinite time on your hands, you'll at least have some variety for those 30 to 40 minute matches. Finally, and I guess this is more of a PSA to people who are actively playing the game than a regular piece of news, but there are some pretty terrible hero glitches and changes that have come up with this newest update that will absolutely get you killed if you are not aware of them. The first being with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan, and when DICE added a block for Darth Maul, they must have forgotten to take into account that Maul's block button used to be used for his dash, and because of that, when Obi-Wan mind tricks you now, he just can't block at all, unlike other villains. Obi-Wan's mind trick, of course, disables dashes for all heroes, but for Maul, his new block button was his old dash button, so DICE very clearly just didn't think about that at all when they gave him a block, as he is absolutely useless when he gets hit with Obi-Wan's mind trick. Just keep that in mind. I'm sure this is something that will get fixed as soon as possible, as pretty much everyone and their mother has been bringing this to the developers' attention, and it has almost gotten me killed a number of times already. Another pretty unprecedented change is to Yoda, and I am not gonna lie, this newest update really hurt Yoda more than it helped him. One of the best things about Yoda in Heroes vs. Villains was his ability to use his dash just to damage villains through blocks, and I don't know why DICE decided to do this, but they removed that feature altogether, which was really the biggest thing that Yoda had going for him because it prevented villains from just holding block infinitely when they were facing down a Yoda. Yoda already has a much slower swing speed than pretty much every other hero and villain with a lightsaber, and on top of that, his damage is already very average. His dashing through blocks was what really made him a great hero in that mode, and like I said before, was what really set him apart. On top of that, his presence was heavily nerfed, so he now only gives his allies 100 health instead of 200, which is a huge hit for his team support capabilities. His block is pretty nice and is a lot more consistent than Maul's, at least in my experience, but they really took a lot away from what made Yoda really unique with this update, and for whatever reason, DICE just seems to be trying to make Yoda just like every other saber user. He had a really unique playstyle of dashing and dodging as opposed to just holding block and spamming abilities like some of the other heroes are almost always played. I mean, oh well, I have a feeling some of these changes will be reverted pretty quickly, but I just wanted to let you guys know about some of these things. I'm pretty sure removing his dash through blocks was intentional, but in my opinion that was a really stupid move and is a little head scratching, as Yoda was never anywhere near overpowered in HVV. He was always a hero a lot of people were absolutely terrible with, but he was really useful if you were at least semi-competent. Well guys, that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to drop a like, and if you are new around here, absolutely make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I'm solo.